Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Roswell Royce Laurie. I am the creator of one of the coolest Facebooks on this planet. Cool folks who love to bachata. Today we're kicking off our summer season interviews. Yep, we're going to do this once again. I just want to tell everyone how proud, how thankful, I'm grateful for all of you guys that have been members for all this time. We just entered our third year, and you guys are doing a great job with all your postings and all your event announcements. As most of you know, I come up, basically on the East Coast to, give my support to you guys, say hello. I still have to, come on out to the West and, see the rest of you guys, but believe me, I will. I will. I just want to say I decided to do something a little different than most social media websites and web pages. You guys been doing a great job sharing your postings, and as you know, I put love, not like. I never put like. It's either I love it or I don't. But I want to give you guys an opportunity to promote yourself a little bit more, right? It's one thing to look at your postings and get an idea of who you are and what you have to offer, but it's a whole different story when you're on camera live and you tell the world who you are. All right. So this is your opportunity to shine and to better promote yourself and let people know a little bit more about you. And yeah, so that's the main reason I'm doing this. For the month of July, we're going to continue doing these live interviews. There's a whole bunch of you that decided to go live with me, and I appreciate it. We're going to take a break in August because it's a family time. I need to recover. And then in September, we're going to continue this, but we're going to try something a little bit more different. We're going to make this a weekly thing into a weekly program. Okay? And we're going to bring out a whole bunch of other people, not only dancers, but physicians, attorneys. We're going to make this into a once a week type of live production. I decided to have everyone from my Facebook to join me for the summer season. No more just members from Cool Folks. Now all 5,000 friends in my Facebook are looking at me talk. People from Instagram and people that I don't know. Okay. So I was getting a lot of feedback from you guys. How can we improve? How can we better market? How can we better make everything known? I emailed everyone the links to this interview. So so yeah, I'm going to bring on one of the the nicest person I just met, and he's really a good guy. I be honest, I never met him in person yet, but based on his reviews, what I heard about him, he has a good reputation in the dance business. He's very professional. He's very loyal. Um, yeah, and he's going to go live with us, and that's Timothy Currier. He's also known as Tim Dog, and I have to ask him, what's going on there, but so I have a whole bunch of questions to ask Mr. Currier. He's the manager at Chicago Loves Bachata. He has his Chicago Loves Bachata event in September. It's a big event. That's what I've been hearing. He also has this great yacht party that's coming up, ending up this month. He was also in the U.S. Marine Corps. I want to talk to him a little bit about that. And I got some other Roswell questions I would like to ask him. So for the next, hopefully, up to an hour, we're going to speak. So I'm going to bring him on in a few minutes. But before, I just want to say something real quickly. I am back at home in New York for the summer. It's good to be back home. I'm here until at least until the summer. Then I'm heading back down south, and yeah. So I'm happy to be here. Um, I just want to apologize to everyone for starting out a little late. I had some, IT issues and stuff. So Mr. Courier is nice enough to go live with me on camera, but we're going to communicate by phone. So if you guys can please have patience until if you guys are unable to like hear anything or unable to hear the conversation, please let me know and we can try something quickly. But it should work. So, Mr. Courier, if you can hear me or you can see me, I'm going to bring you on, sir.
Perfect.
Okay. 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 So, I just told everyone that we're gonna do this interview face to face, but I have my phone so like they can listen in to you. So,
Okay, perfect.
okay. I just want to say, first of all, I like the little Ferris wheel in the back, and you're in Chicago. I have not been to Chicago yet, and everyone's telling me when am I going to come to Chicago? I don't know. My mom is my manager, so when she says I can go, I can go. But how's the summer? Let's just take a step back. How is the summer? How is Chicago? It's like 90 something degrees here in New York, and I already am sweating and everything. How is Chicago? I've never been there in July. How is it hot? Is it
Yeah, it's
roasting?
beautiful out, man. Chicago's a place to be in the summertime. So if you're ever looking for a place to travel, come to Chicago, check it out. There's so many things to do. So many sites. You got the Bean, you got the Willis Tower, you got 360. As you can see behind me, you got Navy Pier. I mean, there's plenty of things to do in Chicago. So come check it out.
Definitely will. Now, you're not originally from Chicago. You're from Wisconsin, right? Originally born and raised.
Well, no, I was actually born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I was given up when I was 2 to my aunt and uncle, which lived in Wisconsin. Then from there, I joined the military, moved out to California, was stationed out in California, and then after I got released from the military, I then came to Chicago. So that's how I actually got here. You want to know a little bit like how it ties in? I was in college for business finance. I did a little bit of that, and then that's how I kind of like looking for things to do in Chicago. I like to dance, have a good time, so I checked out some things online, and I noticed, hey, there's Latin dancing in Chicago, so that's how I kind of connected myself into the dancing. So
Okay, now to be a manager for anything nowadays, it takes a lot of work, takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of communication. Um, you're the manager of Chicago Loves Bachata. That's an awesome name. Chicago Loves Bachata.
yes,
I gotta ask you, how did you come up with that name? It's very creative, it's very unique, and I love it. I should have named my Facebook that. I should have, but how did you come up with that name, man? Can you please let us know?
so the original first event wasn't Chicago Loves Bachata. It was actually For the Love of Bachata.
Okay.
That was the original first name. But after I did the first event, I got word that it conflicted with another event. For the Love of Bachata originated out of Pittsburgh
Mhm.
by Jessica Taylor. Quickly, I found out that that was her name, and then I quickly was like, "Oh, sorry about that. It'll be like a one-time thing." And then I actually have a team that I work with for Chicago Loves Bachata. One of the individuals that was there when the name was created was Adrian Cepeda. He's also out of Chicago. We were brainstorming on different names, what we thought would be cool. We were going back and forth. So that's pretty much how that came. It was like, oh, well, we're in Chicago. Guess what? We know we love bachata, so we came up with the name Chicago Loves Bachata. So that's how that came. That came too.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I got the name. Cool folks who love the bachata. Folks, I used to live in Texas. I used to live in Austin, Texas, and I was trying to think of a creative name, you know, during the COVID pandemic. How I wanted to create a Facebook, to get everyone, the dancers specifically, up and running again and doing events and stuff. So I said, "Cool man who loves the bachata, cool women, cool folks, you know, cool folks who love to bachata." Yes, yes, Timothy. It was like 9 O's, actually 15 O's. Love. Facebook yelled at me. They're like, "Mr. Laurie, how the heck can somebody remember all of those O's?" So I had to switch the name to Cool Folks Who Love to Bachata instead of Cool Folks Who Love to Bachata.
That's fun.
Because imagine 1 a.m. going up to a dancer and saying, "Hey, would you like to join my Facebook?" Sure. What is it, Roswell? Cool Folks Who Love. How many O's? One, two, three. it wasn't working out. So I made Kubo's Love to Bachata. So that's how I got the name. I love how you got your name. I mean, I love the name also. It's very, down to earth. It's very, to the heart, and it's very meaningful. So, I just noticed that. You have an event coming up in September, right? I think September 8th or the weekend after Labor Day weekend, the cool Chicago Loves Bachata event. That's going to be a big one, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, tell us a little bit about that, please.
So for Chicago Loves Bachata, we do socials every quarter.
Hmm.
But then on top of that, we also do a yacht party in July, which is coming up July 29th.
Okay.
That's phenomenal. Fits 400 people. Three floors, one floor for salsa, one floor for bachata, and then one floor for reggaeton and Latin beats. And then I also do festivals in Chicago, which is starting September 8th. It's going to be a bachata event. It's going to have one room dedicated like sensual, modern, urban, romantic, sensual bachata, and then another room dedicated to authentic bachata. Have the two rooms playing, and then I'm gonna have at the last portion of the night each night for about an hour or two have just reggaeton Latin beats playing, so people can just turn up, have a good time. So it's gonna be all out fantastic event. We have Pablo Raquel coming, we have Corky and Judith coming, we have Maxie coming, we have Dimitri and Sylvia coming. We have so many people coming. Check out the event. I'm sure you'll love it. So
Yes, I mean, the thing I love about your event, like I was just reading the history, is like it's all as everyone knows, Timothy, as everyone knows, I don't know salsa, and 90% of my friends are salsa dancers compared to bachata dancers. So yours says 100% bachata. So I said,
it is correct.
whoa, it's my lucky night. I felt like it was my birthday. So I'm like, if I ever come to Chicago, that should be the weekend I should come, because that's all I do, bro. That's all I know how to dance is bachata, bachata, bachata. And when they play salsa or anything else, I just sit there and look at people, So that's great. You said the different types of bachata dancing. I took a class in Houston, Texas, a long time ago. My instructor was telling us about central, authentic, urban. Did you say urban, right? You said urban.
Yeah, sir.
Okay. How does that compare to authentic? Is that one of the
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you can say authentic or you can say traditional. You can
Okay.
even say bachata. You can say Dominican bachata. But if
Okay.
you're a hardcore bachata head, they just call it bachata. Anything else is not bachata, right? So to make it as easy on everybody as possible, I say authentic, traditional Dominican bachata. Now there's no confusion. And anything else to a bachata, an actual purist bachata head, anything else is not bachata. So
Mm.
if I say central bachata, it's not bachata, right? So I try to make it as easy on everybody as possible by separating the two. This way, everybody can appreciate the music, and people can just pick and choose what they want. Sometimes you want to dance traditional, sometimes you want to dance sensual. Based on your mood, we let the customers pick and choose when and how they want to dance whenever they want. You know what I mean? So it works.
Yeah, definitely. I like so I'm not an organizer, Timothy. I'm just a guy who just have this platform for you guys to share your stuff. So I don't know much about organizing events and stuff. I could imagine that what you're doing coming up in September, it's not something that you started last week. It's something that you started maybe like almost a year ago because as you know, I do legal work. I know the contracts involved, and now the COVID stuff is over. You got to bring people from overseas here, and all of that. You got to plan and
Yes.
get the guests right. Blah blah blah. Get the hotel. So planning is something that I admire you and everyone else for doing. With your event that's coming up in September, if you don't mind me asking, how has the COVID, well, I can't say the end of the COVID, like how no, wait, let me back up here. How has the COVID made it a little bit more challenging for you to make this event possible on that day? I mean, were there any conflicts? Like, some organizers are like, oh my God, this kid cannot come from Spain anymore. What we're going to do? Oh, we have to move it back up. There's like restrictions. Were there was it a lot of work with this COVID stuff that happened
No,
to keep
no.
on
It
track of?
I actually, the only time it affected my events was the yacht party. So for a little back end story was I had so background, I have partners. One of my partners is Damien Guzman.
Yeah, I know
You know
Damien.
who he is? Yes. I have another partner that chooses to remain private, which is fine. No shame to that. But this festival started off as me working with these two individuals. I did the Chicago Loves Bachata yacht party, and this was before COVID.
Mhm.
When the yacht party was set to kick off, COVID hit. So that was what affected me the most because what happened was we had to stop promotions, refund all the people, and then hope that COVID would be not over, but we would be cleared to run the yacht. And thank God we were because the yacht party sold out. But that was the only thing that was affected by that. Then after the yacht party kicked off, we used that money from the yacht party profits to then put money into the festival. So that's how that started. So this is going to be the first year event. It actually kicked off after the success of the initial yacht party, using those funds to then get this set up. My partner Damien Guzman is the one that handles all the hotels and the contracts and stuff like that, and I'm more the organizer, manager, promoter. You know what I mean? So we work well as a team. So
Yeah, I know Damien. Damien is an angel. I'm trying to get him to go live with me. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna like, bro. I'm so, I'm like, bro, you're gonna go live with me, whether you like it or not. I love him.
he's
I
very
love him. He's
busy.
a great guy. He gave me my first bachata T-shirt when I saw him uh, last year in New York. So and I come to his events, and I remember when I first met him, 2 years ago at his Palladium. Was it the Palladium Houston Love? Yeah, first time. I just heard about the name Damien, but I didn't know who he was. I literally showed up at his an event, and I literally looked at him like, "Look, bro, just give me a hug. You don't know me, but I know you. I heard about you. I'm Roswell." He's like, "Okay, great." So since then, he's a really nice guy. He's a really
Yes.
nice guy, and yeah, yeah. I was just asking about the amount of work that's involved in putting together something as big as that. What are some, if you don't mind me asking, like, you're like a month away. Is it a month? Okay, I think a month and a
About two
half. Oh,
months.
yeah, we have some time left. You're some time away from it. Like, what are some possible, I don't know, like, what are some possible concerns that could evolve or could happen between now and September, and like how can that be resolved? I guess what I'm trying to say, I know, like, like, let's say it rains, like, for example, and it's supposed to have everything outside. Let's say it's by the pool or whatever, and then again, like, then how do you plan to have everything, like, at the last minute change? Like, how do you prepare for like any sudden, you know eruptions or something? Like, how do you prepare for something that could not go according to plan?
Yeah, I mean, so for me, it's always staying ahead of the game. So
Okay.
always thinking and planning ahead, making sure all your ends are covered. So it's like I said, it's just planning, man. Planning, checking your numbers, making sure you're doing what you're supposed to do, making sure you're staying on top of your task, making sure you're keeping on track. Like my big thing is promotions, right? I'm always promoting. I'm always any chance I get. I'm saying something about Chicago Loves Bachata. If you see my page, it's always like Chicago Loves Bachata. I'll go support other events. I'll promote Chicago Loves Bachata. If you see it on my page, I'm promoting. I did the shout out, right? Um, I'm tagging, I'm sharing, But the biggest thing to keep the event alive and keep it healthy is to support, man. The biggest thing is support. If I'm not supporting the community, supporting the dancers around me, they're not supporting me. So it's I consider us like a family. So we take care of our family. But it might take me a long time to do the task list, but there's a task list. And between myself and Damien, we're going through the task list and we're making sure we keep on track of what we're supposed to get done in a timely manner. And everything has a timeline, you know what I mean? This week, this needs to get done. That week, that needs to get done, you know. and we have the timeline that we keep up with, to ensure tickets are there, sales are there, performers are there, volunteers are there, vendors are there. So it's pretty much just staying on top of those things. So
Yeah, I mean, when I was asking my friend Dola, about his event, like his world dance festival that happened this spring, I was asking him, okay, so now that it's over and whatever, so that means the next day you can just relax, go on vacation, come dancing with me, come to New York. No, Roswell, it does not work that way. I got to start on that same day for next year. I'm like, what? He said it is what so it's a lot of work. So I just want to, I respect you and Dola and Damien and all of you guys that actually put your heart and your soul into something like this, because to do something like this, it takes a lot of passion, not only wits and experience and courage, but it takes a lot of internal motivation, right? And
yeah,
commitment to do it. And like you said, like, keep on
yeah,
track, keep the plan, you can have bad days and whatever, but you still do it until, people show up and whatever, and then you
yes,
continue.
be
So
consistent. Yep.
there you go. You said it perfectly. You said it perfectly. I wanted to ask you about some couple artist stuff, if you don't mind me asking. And you said the
Sure.
magic word here, support. Um, Um, Now that things are like up and running again, and there's like a lot of dance events and stuff, and I'm just kind of curious about something. I try my best, Timothy, to go support everyone. You know, um, and I find myself nowadays, I'm going to like 8, 9 different events and one night, and I'm only there for like 5 minutes, 7 minutes, half an hour, rushing here, uptown, downtown, da, 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 da. Before you know it, I didn't even get to dance with a chick. It's time for me to go to bed. So I'm just kind of curious about something. That's great. Don't get me wrong, bro. Don't get me wrong. That's great. All of you guys are doing stuff, but I'm just kind of curious. Let's say it's a Saturday night. It's a good night. It's a Saturday night, and there's like six, five, yeah, there's five friends, right? And they all live within like 5 miles radius, Timothy, right? They're all like, let's say it's a big city. It could be Miami, New York, Paris, whatever, right? So John here, he has his event, right? Mary has her event. Eduardo has his. Peter has his. John had, okay? All within the same night, 5 miles radius. They're all friends. They're big shot organizers and whatever. But the problem is that our friends or my friends or me, then we have to decide like, should I hang out here? Should I hang out here? Should I just hang out here quickly and then go back here? Should I So I guess what I'm trying to say is that the next day, these guys, they realized that only like one or two or five, not that many people showed up to each of their event like they expected. So I don't know if that's normal. I don't know if it's profit wise, like, maybe, cause I know with like organizer events and stuff, there's a lot of money that needs to be dished out and put away, and then you get it back, based upon, like the night before, when you count up the register and all of that stuff, right? So I'm just curious about something. Like, is there a better way these five people can better support one another, or maybe come together just for that one night, and then like split the profit or whatever. The reason I'm saying that, because I hate to see my friends and stuff. I hate to see them. They spend a lot. They plan stuff in advance, a year, and before you know it, their colleague or their friend is also having an event, and only like a couple of people show up to their event, and you know what I'm saying. So maybe it's always been like this. I don't know. I'm new to this. I've only been doing this for a couple of years. So is there a way you think, and it's not a right or wrong response, Timothy? I'm just trying to get a perspective from everyone. Is there a better way now, that maybe these five guys could have, you know, maybe work together or just plan it out differently? How can the dance community better support one another? That's the question that I would like to ask you.
So obviously, not everybody's going to be on the same page, right? So we know that for a fact. So we're always going to have that 1% that just doesn't care. But for the vast majority, what you can do, we do in Chicago for the most part. We have a Midwest calendar, and what it is all the organizers in that community share their dance events what weekends they're hosting events, and then each organizer in that community attempts to try their best to not run an event on that weekend. Again, you're going to have that 1% that just doesn't care. We get that. We all know that, those individuals, so they're just going to do whatever they want. But again, for the vast majority, you share that calendar within the group of directors, organizers within that community, and it tends to knock out 90% of the example of what you're speaking of. So it does work if you work it.
Okay, that's fine with me, bro. I just want to say something. I like your responses. It's so direct. It's not like
They're professional, exactly.
it's beyond professional. I'm like, I don't even, I just want everyone to know. I was telling Tim a couple of minutes ago before we started, just in case, he goes on and on for hours, and I'm gonna have to like send him a little message and say, hey, bro, can I don't need to do that. This is so weird. I mean, I don't know, Tim. Have you been doing interviews like this forever? It seems like you're a pro at this. Like I don't like you can look at me and know when to stop and when not to stop. How?
Yeah, my current role professionally is a logistics manager, but I was also in the military as well. So, and I also have a little bit of college too. So, between all three of those different avenues, there's a small type of professionalism, in there. So you may get a better response from myself, but who knows? Just an example or my opinion.
No, bro, you're making my job much easier. I don't have to be like, I have to be like, stop. No, you're great. You're great. Speaking of the military, the U.S. Marines, you worked at the U.S. Marine Corps, right? At
Yes.
one point. So, um, when you worked at the U.S. Marine Corps, were you interested in dancing at that time or bachata? Do you think that you would
No,
be here? Actually, you would be here live talking to me about your stuff.
I was more interested in staying alive than I was anything else.
Oh, staying alive. Okay.
Yes. I was not
Okay.
interested. So,
Okay. Okay. So you were not even thinking about yacht parties
yeah,
and
no, it wasn't even a thought.
going live to talk with Roswell. Okay, none of that. Okay. So no, it's that thing. It was staying alive. Okay. Um,
Yes.
um, I'm going to try my best to relate to you. The only thing I can think of about alive is that Tim. I don't know. I know you don't know much about me. The main reasons I created Cool Folks Love to Bachata, many reasons. And so, you guys have the opportunity to, you know, shine better. I wanted to do, I promised my dad, before he got Alzheimer's, that I was going to do something unconditional because, he was the type of man, he doesn't like to mix business with pleasure, 9 to 5 work, 5 to 6 family, 7 to 11 bed, very strict.
Okay.
I felt like I was in the military, and
Yeah.
because I lived
Okay.
my life. It was very routine. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You just do what you're told. But go to school, go to college. Stay out of trouble. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that um I didn't really have an appreciation for like bachata. Oh wait, I didn't even have an appreciation for Latin music or whatever. I was like very, very, very ignorant, back, a few years ago. Like I was like, if I don't understand the words or the lyrics, then I turn the music off. Then what's the point of, yeah, everything with me was with logic. Like I got to know what's going on. And so I decided to, I was dating someone, right? I was dating someone from DR, right?
Okay.
And let's just, to make a long story short, we could be here for hours. I can tell you all the stuff that happened. It turned out very, 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 very bad, badder than bad. Let's just leave it at, worse than worse. It got to the point where I said the relationship is not going to go anywhere, so I might as well just like jump off a cliff or go down under or just stand there, let a car run over me, and just whatever. So I said to myself, there got to be more to life than than this. They got people.
Yeah.
People move on, and people. So, and the person that broke my heart was from DR, and I said, oh, I don't want to see any more. Say, DR. I don't want to hear like bachata music. So I had to find the strength in my soul to say there has to be some good out of this. You know what I'm trying to say, bro? Like when you feel that hurt or that pain, and you feel that there's so much bad, you find it in you to make it good somehow, make it good. And I did. I did. I decided to turn on just by chance. I said, let me just turn on the first bachata song because we're live. I'm not allowed to like mention artist name, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying that I listened to this one artist and I didn't understand anything. Remember, I'm not Spanish. I'm from the West Indies. I just know hola and adios. And the songs were like, wow, wow. It's some odd reason it made sense to me. Not the word, but it just like I felt it here. First, I was like, it didn't make. Then I felt it here. Before you know it, the next week, another bachata song, another month, another year. Before you know it, but 7 years go by, and that's all I listen to. And I go to events, and I have cool folks who love the bachata. So I guess what I'm trying to say, I know it's kind of corny, what I'm saying, but the bachata world's kind of saved me from
Okay.
from like you know a broken heart, and just like just it just saved me. You ever heard those stories about dancing saves you? I don't know, some men, they say when they go dancing, it saves them from, like, it keeps them productive, it keeps them active.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I see what you're saying.
so the only thing I can relate to you, about that, when you said, the Marines, it's just that music saved me. The bachata
Yeah.
stuff saved me. So I just wanted to ask you a quick question, like,
Sure.
how has the I don't know. I mean, how has the bachata world, like, kind of like made you into a better man? I mean, I'm pretty sure you were always a better man. So I guess what I'm trying to say, how did it make you into who you are? I mean, or did it, is this something that you? Why not salsa? Why not disco? Like, how? You know what I'm saying? How there must have been some reason or something, that's making you continue in this journey, or this area. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I mean, did how did bachatas, make you into who you are, or a better person, or did it ever, save you or whatever? I don't know, man. So I was just kind of curious,
Yeah, I mean,
how it helped
I
you.
can get into a little bit of like not really save me, but it intrigued me, right? So before there was any type of Chicago Loves Bachata or anything like 100% Bachata this event, um, I would go to all the different events in Chicago, like every event in Chicago. There's Latin dancing. I was at the event, and I noticed that Chicago was predominantly salsa. Every event I went to was predominantly salsa.
Okay.
Maybe one or two events would say bachata. I'm gonna throw out Zeke, because Zeke, my main man, Zeke was probably the number one man to be like, oh, if you're looking for bachata in Chicago, he would be the one. But I felt like there wasn't enough events like Zeke in Chicago,
Mhm.
really lacking bachata in Chicago. It was just like, so one day I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna throw 100% bachata in. So it was more like bachata did that for me. It intrigued me to create the event. You pick the one thing you like the best from the Latin dance scene out of all the different genres. You pick it, and then you just run with it. So that's pretty much what I did. As for changing me, I like to manage. I like to grow. I like to learn. I like to, try new things. I like to improve. Better the community, better myself. So, we just take it one day at a time. So, from social to yacht party to festival, and who knows what the next is, right? 2024 is coming, 2025 is coming. Who knows? Maybe you see Navy Pier behind me. Maybe I do a huge event at Navy Pier. Who knows? You know what I mean? So, just taking things one day at a time and improving daily.
Your answers, bro. I wish I was in Chicago right now. I could just give you a Roswell hug. I'm like, I'd love those answers. You should be interviewing me. I'm like, it would feel so good. Um, I was gonna ask you. You just answered the question. I was gonna ask you, like, what are some projects you have coming up in the future? Like, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? But you seem, you seem as if you already got it planned out. And
I have a few. So behind the scenes, I have many venues, many organizers, many sales managers that have seen Chicago as Bachata, sees the things I've been doing, or we've been doing, because I can't do it by myself. The community supports me just as much as I support them, and they're like, "Hey, can you do these events here, here, and here?" So I've always wanted to do an event at Navy Pier. Matter of fact, behind me, there is a venue at Navy Pier where I've been in contact with Again, that's more far out. That's not like tomorrow,
Mhm.
just because the venues are super expensive. Um, but it is an idea. It is something that has been thrown my way. It's just, you know, again, we take things one day at a time. So that's where I'm at today.
Okay, one day at a okay, that's something I need to do. So, good advice from me here. I mean, the thing with me is just that I'm just, I always feel like overwhelmed, because I'm running here, running there, doing this, doing that, take care of my mom, taking care of my family, like I never like really, get some Roswell time for myself. And I'm like, by the end of the day, I'm like, oh, why do I got to be such a nice guy, but yeah, I mean, it's good to still have a plan and still, proceed with it and have direction, and what to do and stuff. And I wanted to ask you, before I ask you the next question, I just want to say I love how we went from day to night. The Ferris wheel is beautiful. I that
Yeah,
was it's a gorgeous
beautiful.
view.
I mean, if you look to the other side, you can see all of downtown. So
Wow.
yeah,
It looks
I'm
like
actually at Navy Pier. So
wow. It looks like New York
yeah,
City. I like the
beautiful out here. Yep.
skyscraper. Wow, I gotta come one day to hang out. Everyone's like telling me like, come, come, come. I don't know. I don't know anyone there. I gotta make friends when I come. I'll come hang out with you and whatever. Children, you probably heard this over and over. Kids are the world. They're the future. One day they'll take over the White House and whatever. But in due respect, one of the reasons I have these interviews, Timothy, is not only for publicity and making you guys look good on camera or whatever, but when I was a kid, I had strong role models. At the upbringing, the parents and whatever. Like I grew up with Barbara Walters got me my first job in TV. Then Oprah Winfrey. I used to watch her back in the '90s, how she talked, what she speak. What she does. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I mean, I'm not perfect. God knows I'm not, but because by chance, I had a positive up support and upbringing and stuff, I was able to be cool, But not everyone. I know some of my classmates. They're in different directions, really different, So I just want to say, the children that are listening to us speak, and people that or stuff, if they want to become, I don't know, professional organizers, dancers, or whatever, what advice can you give those young ones?
I mean, I can break it down for them exactly how I did it. If they wanted to learn how to do it, I mean, it takes a lot of work. So that's number one. It's not something that happens overnight. So the way I did it was I talked a little bit about where I went to all the different Latin dance events. So start with that. Go out to all the weekly events. I mean, I'm talking about Sunday through Sunday, um, and making new friends. Okay, that was the biggest thing I did in the Latin dance community. Was every time I went out, I made it a point to make a new friend. I got their social media. Okay, if you do that over and over and over, get 2, 3 friends, social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you want to do, you build your following that way. But number one thing is support. So you're going to these dance events, make sure you're supporting, make sure you're tagging, make sure you're taking pictures, bringing everybody around you to build your following. Um, you can do that repetitively over and over again, and then next thing you know, you have a super big following. It doesn't take away from having money. Unfortunately, we can't get away from that, so you build your following, but then you also need to have money, right? So, probably going to need a down payment, okay? $5,000 to $10,000, unfortunately. You probably need, um, and then hopefully your event is successful. Promote like crazy. Promote, share, tag. Go crazy. Don't be scared to lead, right? So the one thing that separates everybody else is we talk about the door-to-door sales guy that's not afraid to take a no. You can't be afraid to take a no. You can't be afraid to stick out. You can't be afraid to be different from anybody else. So that was my biggest thing. Share, tag, promote. didn't matter what people thought of me. I just did what I had to do, and I've been blessed to be successful to this day. So, but again, without the community, the support of people around me, I wouldn't be here today. So, you know, it is what it is. So, hopefully that advice works. Hopefully it helps guide our young ones, and they can learn from me as an example and do what they do best. So,
Yeah, you seem like you have a lot of support. I mean, even I know we never met, but you're very not only do you support people, but they support you. But I can see why. You just it's natural, it's like a natural support. It's not like I don't know.
yes.
You don't seem like the type of person that look, you've got to support me, or else you're the type of person like people like come up to you and say, hey, can I support? You seem that type of person. Again, I never met you. This is my first time I'm meeting you, but I can just tell you're that type of person. You're just natural. You're not like
Supporting
like
people that
pretentious.
yeah,
You like pretentious.
I care about them. Yeah, so,
Yeah, yeah. I can see why people, like right now. Look at me. I just want to like hop on a plane. Hell with my mom. Just hop on a plane. Come to Chicago. Hang out with you in the Ferris wheel, bro. But no,
you can be on that Ferris wheel right now.
I just want, bro. Trust me. Speaking of Ferris wheel. So what? Besides bachata and all of that stuff. Like what else? Like when you like me, for example, when I'm not dancing during the night or whatever, I'm a bookworm. Everyone knows, like, because I'm working on this doctoral program and I'll do research like in the days, and then I go to the park, and then at nights I dance. So I just don't dance and whatever. What do you do besides, when you're not working and in the dance world? Like, it's a typical Sunday or Monday night. Like, what are you like at a bookstore at church? Are you just sitting at the park? Like what normal or other stuff do you do, if you don't mind me asking? Like when you're this is the reason I wanted you guys to go on live with me so people could kind of know like what else you guys do besides dancing and organizing and stuff. Would you please share? Or I mean, if you would like.
Sure. So my big thing is traveling. I love to travel. It's great because dance ties into travel, right? So like a few months ago, I was in Barcelona, Spain. You know what I mean? So it's beautiful sightseeing, meeting new people. That's something I like to do. I also like to try something new. Like as an example, I'm here in Navy Pier. Um, One of the biggest things I like to do is, as an example, we have a website called Smart Destinations, and I do Smart Destination, and I type in Chicago, and it gives all the different attractions that Chicago has to offer. And then I'll like go down the list, just pick some random thing to go and do. You know what I mean? Just to keep life spontaneous. So, which brings me out to Navy Pier. I literally did some. It was a Sea Dog speedboat tour. So I literally just got off of that. So it's like just trying something new, experiencing life. Because life is short, so take advantage. So
Yeah, and I feel like you're just talking to me directly. I needed to hear that, bro. I'm telling you, I needed to hear that. Trust me, because again, I mean, I know you don't know much about me, but trust me, I'm one of those like grumpy people. I'm like, damn, it's Monday. Like I have to do this and do that. And people keep telling me, especially my mom and stuff. They're like, life is short, son. Life is short, boss. Well, just
yeah,
stop being grumpy to do what you got to do. And blah blah blah. So, but it's true. I'm happy you said that, and I appreciate everything you've said. I know we're like, we went over a little bit, and I'm sorry for the timing and stuff.
yeah, no
Just
worries, you're
I
fine.
gotta better, like prepare everyone and get things started. But you're a good sport for still, going through with the interview, even though the sound system doesn't work. We still got the phone
Yeah, it's
phone
my
system.
phone. Yeah,
So that's a good plan, and that's a good plan. And I would love for you to come back whenever you would like to go live with me again, tell people about your events coming up or anything else you feel comfortable talking about. Um, it was a pleasure to have met you. Yeah, that's the thing about these live interviews is like I feel like, oh God, like you're going, it's already don't go, it's okay. So I gotta hold back my emotions. So I gotta work on that. I gotta hold back my emotions. But I know you gotta go. But I want to say it was a pleasure speaking with you, and hopefully I meet you soon. I mean, I'm here in New York until summer. I mean, then I'm planning to go back down south, and hopefully I come to Chicago. I don't know. I mean, I'm tempted to
Well,
because the 100% thing. I haven't seen that in a while. I'm tempted to like leave my mom, with the mailman for the weekend. Let him babysit her or whatever, and I come to Chicago and hang out, do my 100% bachata dancing with you and Damien and everyone else. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But thank you. Thank you so much for being, and feel free to share your postings and whatever. And, so thank you so much.
yes, no problem.
Have a good night, man.
Have a good one, man. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
All right, bye bye.
Bye bye.